In today's module, we are going to discuss how to enter contacts into an account. And to be clear, the contacts or the responding parties are the individuals that are to be called during an alarm event. Call lists, for example, those are the directions that we would follow in the event of an alarm, but contacts are the actual individuals. So to go ahead and do so, click on Enter Edit Change Request. Go into the account that you wish to edit. Go ahead and click the contacts link on the left hand side and you'll get a drop down or a pop-up box. Click on Edit Contacts. Once you're in this screen here, you want to click Add Contact and simply enter in the contact name. You can see I've already filled this out before and Chrome is helping me. Now in personal information, the contact is already assumed to be a home number. So here, if it's a work number, go ahead and add that in, or if it's a cell number, you can add that in there. The user field is if you want to assign their user number or if they're an open and closer to the name. In other words, if you would be in history and you would see opening or closing by user 001, if you would put in 001 here, then that would replace that number with the name in history. It would say opening by user Kyle Hauer as opposed to 001. The phone number, you need no dashes or parentheses to simply enter it right in. Now the passcode field. If the entire account has a singular passcode or 2 or 3 passcodes that anybody can use, then I will show you a different trick for that. However, if each individual is provided a unique password, then you would enter it in on a per line basis with that individual, and only one time. You don't need, for example, if I had my work number and my cell number in here, I don't need my passcode on there twice. I only need it on there just once. Alright, so for this particular account, I'm going to pretend it is a normal residential account, if you will, and there is one password for everybody. Alright, so I am not going to enter it in here. Actually, what I will do is I would go down a line and I would enter in 2 letters, AP or Alpha Papa. As you tab over, you will see that extends to be authorized passcode, and then you can simply enter it in. Okay, you will also notice on the far right hand side there's a little piece of paper with a hand on it. That's for additional options. So if you would go ahead and click that, you get a pop-up here, and you can see that there is a contact valid times section. So for example, if this is an individual who's not going to be on here for long or forever, if you will, then you may put in the month, date, and year and the time frame, and that individual would then go away once this expires. The country, obviously it's what country they're in, and wherever there's a magnifying glass you may click it and receive a pop-up. The closing ID. You will notice the closing ID has followed me from the screen, from the initial screen here. Now obviously a opening and closing ID such as 001 is for a format like contact ID, for example. But if you're using an older form like a 42, keep in mind that it's usually a B1 or a C1, something of that nature. Therefore, if I was to put in the user number here as B1, be mindful to go into this option section and change it to C1, because it simply copies what's on that initial page there. Alright. I'm going to change that back real quick. Alright, the phone extension, if they have a phone extension, enter it in there. The pager, you're probably never going to use this. As a matter of fact, you're not going to use this, as that's only applicable if there was a paging modem installed here. There is not one, as, let's face it, there's not a lot of pagers out there anymore. But if there is a pager out there, that's still irrelevant. The operator is paging that person, not our paging modem. That's why that's built, so ignore that. Duress code. This is a word that an individual would give us in the event they are under duress. If they gave us this word, no matter when they're speaking to us and we're authorizing that individual, our screen would turn into a duress situation and give the operator instructions on what to do next. Therefore, for example, under the authorized passcode, I always highly recommend to put a duress code, or to explain that to the individuals who have the alarm system, that if they are under duress, to provide a duress code. And that would go in here. OC access, just ignore that, and data entry options as well. Go ahead and ignore those also. So once you're done filling out this information, if you have any information that you've manipulated in here, then you would click keep and then close. You can verify that it was saved by going back in, and you can simply submit changes. You can see that you are given options. I'll bring the screen in to go back into the change request screen, or the contacts. For the sake of it, I'll go back into the change request. I'll go back into the contacts here. Now, if you had a long list of contacts, these buttons would then take effect, because it would jump to the next 15 contacts. It's pretty self-explanatory here. The changing of user IDs, I think that's a bit more of an antiquated option, so I wouldn't even worry about that. You can go into the contact, or just simply mouse over top of the contact and change them just as easily as you could with that button as well. You will see here that my call list is in this particular order. Now let's say I wanted Brian to be in front of me, or Jane to be in front of Brian, or to keep things clean, all the phone numbers grouped up top and the passcode there at the bottom. This change sort button will give you the opportunity to do that. You will see that as you go over top of an individual, your cursor changes to this cross. Once that happens, just simply click and drag and let go. So I'm clicking the mouse button, I'm sliding Jane up here, and I'm letting go. That's all there is to it. Once you're happy with your order, you would go ahead and click submit, and it will take you back, and you will see that everything is manipulated. That completes how to enter in contacts. If you have any questions or additional issues, just go ahead and email info@alliedcentral.com with problems or comments, or simply contact Central Station.